Please. Thank you, Akbar Garu. Honorable Minister for Forest, Shri Indra Karan Reddy Garu. Special Chief Secretary of Government of Telangana and in charge of the Forest Department, Srimati Shanti Kumari Garu. The Director General of Forest, Shri Chandra Prakash Goyal ji. Our Chief Secretary, Shri Somesh Kumar Garu. Subhash Chandra ji, who is the CEO of Campa. Our own PCCF, who, as was pointed out, is, I think, relinquishing her responsibilities in the next couple of days and who's done a stellar job. I think she deserves a huge round of applause from all of us. Srimati Shobha Garu, Shri Lokesh Jaiswal ji, Srimati Sunita Bhagwat ji, and to all the officers, to all the respected officers who are representing their own states, and to officers from Government of India as well. We warmly welcome you to the Tree City as recognized by the Arbor Day Foundation and UN, Hyderabad. In fact, for those of you who are from other states other than out of Telangana, outside of Telangana, let me point out that Hyderabad was the only city that was recognized by Arbor Day Foundation and UN as a tree city. I was also told by our PCCF, and one interesting statistic that she pointed out. Our forest department here is headed by two officers who are incidentally women, the Special Chief Secretary herself and also the PCCF. They take a lot of pride in grooming other women officers, and our PCCF was pointing out to one thing which I thought was very interesting. She told me that 40.44%, she was very precise. She said 40.44% of my forest beat officers, forest range officers, forest section officers are all women. So we are essentially, I think one of the reasons why Telangana performs very well in terms of our rankings, green rankings, is possibly because of the diligent efforts of all these women officers. And as we approach close to the International Women's Day, I think all of us, men and other officers also in this room, will take a lot of pride in that. Now, one of the things that I keep complaining about in speaking at events like this is because all the preceding speakers, they reel out all the statistics. They tell you everything that there is to be told, so therefore there is not much to say for the one who speaks, either the ultimate speaker or the penultimate speaker. And Mr. Reddy has a tough job of trying to repeat a lot of these statistics, but I'll not go too much into detail. In fact, Somesh ji has stolen my speech. बहुत कुछ बोल दिया उन्होंने, तो you have stolen my speech. And since you have your batchmates and all here, you wanted to impress them, I'm presuming. I'll tell you 2-3 things. One, I think what's important, extremely important for a program like this to succeed, is the political will. I mean, there are a lot of officers who start off their service wearing the rose-tinted glasses, saying, मैं दुनिया बदल दूंगा, मैं पूरा जो मेरा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, जो मुझे एकेडमी में सिखाया गया, पूरी तरह से उसको कामयाब करने में मैं दिलो जान लगा दूंगा. हर कोई ऐसे ही शुरुआत, हर किसी की शुरुआत ऐसे ही होती है. पर 2 साल बाद या 3 साल बाद you become a bit jaded. You are like, okay, nothing's going to change, the system is like this. हमारे सीनियर ऐसे हैं, हमारे सुपीरियर ऑफिसर ऐसे हैं और पॉलिटिशियन ऐसे हैं. इसको करके थोड़े दिन में हम लोग सभी लोग जेडेड हो जाते हैं. We give up, or we at least tend to slack. But I think what is important, as was pointed out by our Chief Secretary, is that each of us within our own realm of possibilities, within our own realm of influence, within our own sphere of influence, can effect a change. If private citizens, private individuals can effect a change without much support from the government, despite the government, in fact, if I have to say it, why can't we as people who run the government, why can't we as people who actually lead from the front or supposed to lead from the front, why can't we do it in spite of whatever perceived or real obstacles there are? The commonality of purpose, the unison of thought is something that we can certainly think of and learn from others. And there is no need to reinvent the wheel. If a state like Telangana is doing well in a short span of 5 years, as CP Goyal ji has pointed out, why can't other states do it? Why can't we do it in our own little realms of possibilities and little realms of little domains of influence that we all have. If Telangana as a state can improve its green cover from 24 to 31.7% in toto, why can't we do it? Why can't other states do it? We set ourselves targets and we said we go aggressively against them. We can certainly make it happen. But what is more important is, as I was pointing out to your DG, a lot of us operate in silos. The IFS, the IAS, the IPS, each of our roles are cut out, the politicians, the public representatives. We all tend to operate with blinders, don't think about what's happening in the room next door or in the office next door. And we all tend to think that our job is important and what the other person's doing is not as important maybe. That kind of blinds us from this whole unison of purpose. I think that is the most important change. That is the most important message our Honorable Chief Minister has given us 7 days into his office in 2014. He brought a lot of us into the same room. Ministers who are responsible for urban development, ministers who are responsible for rural development, minister who is responsible for forest. Because these three departments, if we work together, are the key to success, the key to effecting a long-lasting change. He told us two things. He made a very passionate appeal. He said, this is not a program that is going to get me electoral dividends. A green drive, increasing green cover, typically हमें वोट नहीं देता. इसलिए बहुत सारे पॉलिटिशियन लोग उस पर ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. हम लोग हमेशा इस बात पे लगे रहते हैं कि कैपेक्स कैसे बिताया जाए, कैसे खर्च किया जाए, ताकि एक नया फ्लाईओवर बने, नया एक्सप्रेसवे बने, जिसको मैं दिखा सकूं और बोलूं कि ये हमारी तरक्की है, हमारी विकास है, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. उन्होंने कहा हमसे कि आई एम नॉट थिंकिंग अबाउट द करंट जनरेशन, आई एम थिंकिंग अबाउट फ्यूचर जनरेशंस. His appeal was so passionate, we were all moved. He said a city like Hyderabad, which is one of the fastest growing cities in India, and he says it repeatedly, not once. He said, with a lot of passion and with a lot of concern, उन्होंने कहा कि एक ऐसा भी दिन आएगा अगर हम अभी छोड़ देते हैं, अगर हम परवाह नहीं करते हैं या लापरवाह हम रहते हैं, तो ऐसा एक दिन आएगा जब आपको एक 5 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर का जगह हैदराबाद में ढूंढ निकालना पड़ेगा और वहां पे जितने भी इमारत है उन सबको गिरा के आपको फॉरेस्ट वहां पे उगाना पड़ेगा, झाड़ उगाना पड़ेगा. ऐसा ना हो कि हम लोग ऑक्सीजन के लिए तड़पें, ऐसा ना हो. इट माइट साउंड अ बिट एक्सट्रीम, इट माइट साउंड अ बिट एक्सट्रीम, इट माइट साउंड अ बिट रैडिकल, बट द फैक्ट इज देयर इज मैसिव डिग्रेडेशन all over the planet, in spite of our commitments at COPs and other things. One of the COP events was held in Hyderabad. For those of you who attended, when Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, I think, back COP 11, happened right here in the city of Hyderabad. And each COP, there are resolutions, there are commitments given. Hardly many of them are actually adhered to. Even our Honorable Prime Minister, I think, was at COP 26 recently. Is that COP 26 or? And he had made a commitment कि 2070 तक हम इंडिया को नेट जीरो बनाएंगे. उन्होंने कमिटमेंट दिया है कि आगे आने वाले 48 ईयर्स में हमने इंडिया को नेट जीरो बनाना है. माई हम्बल अपील टू द डीजी एंड ऑल द ऑफिसर्स ऑफ द स्टेट कैडर एंड लीडर्स ऑफ their respective departments at the state level, and also leaders who in their right are leading India's afforestation drive. My humble appeal to you, अगर हम हिंदुस्तान में ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस का रैंकिंग ला सकते हैं और एक स्टेट को दूसरे स्टेट के मुकाबले लड़ा सकते हैं और उसके लिए एक माहौल क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, क्यों हम नेट जीरो का क्यों ऐसे ही एक प्रोग्राम नहीं चालू कर सकते हैं? वाई कांट वी स्टार्ट अ रैंकिंग सिस्टम of one state against another, one UT against another, and create a challenge of sorts कि भाई आप दिखाओ नेट जीरो 2070 का चैलेंज प्रधानमंत्री ने, चैलेंज नहीं बल्कि वहां कमिटमेंट दिया हुआ है, तो कौन सी ऐसी स्टेट आगे जाके सबसे पहले ये अचीव करेगी, इसका हम चैलेंज क्यों नहीं क्रिएट कर सकते हैं भारत सरकार की तरफ से? ये आप सोचिए जरूर. और दूसरी बात, ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस रैंकिंग्स में तेलंगाना, not only in green cover but ease of doing business, we are also ahead of many states, and in fact we are in the top 1, 2, 3 always. That is because of our policies. The other thing I would like to urge you to think, even industry, let me wear the hat of being the industry minister for a minute. Every industrialist that I interact with, they're concerned. They are setting their own institutional goals कि हमें हमारी कंपनी को नेट जीरो बनाना है 2030 तक या 35 तक या 40 तक. उन्होंने अपना एक टारगेट बनाया हुआ है. And they will be focused, they will be inclined toward those countries, those states, those governments which also take environment very seriously, which also take decarbonization very, very seriously. Now, my humble appeal to the Forest Department is, I think you need to sensitize, you need to be present at CII forums, you need to be present at FICCI forums. Don't operate in isolation. आपको आपका omni present एक माहौल क्रिएट करना चाहिए जिसमें आपको हर स्टेट में जो CII का फोरम होता है, हर स्टेट में जो FICCI का फोरम होता है, या हर स्टेट में जो इंडस्ट्री का बॉडी होता है, उसमें आपको जाना चाहिए, उसको बताना चाहिए उनको कि अगर आप चाहते हो कि आप दुनिया के सबसे बड़े कंपनीज के साथ टाई अप या बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी चाहते हो, सो यू बेटर फोकस ऑन दिस ऑल्सो, बिकॉज दिस इज गोइंग टू बी एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू थ्राइव एंड ग्रो in future, because the world is taking this very seriously. The world is taking sustainability very seriously. You need to present yourself, you need to talk about why afforestation is important, even on the forums where electric mobility, electric vehicles are being talked about. Why is electric vehicles important? All these missing pieces of the puzzle being put together is what is going to make the difference for us as a country. Just forest department operating with blinders saying मैं मेरा फॉरेस्ट को किसी को इंक्रोच नहीं करने दूंगा या एक भी झाड़ यहां से नहीं जाने दूंगा, वो नहीं काम चलेगा. यू हैव टू ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड, यू नो, आवर ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर श्री KCR गारू always tells us, industry not at the cost of environment, industrialization not at the cost of environment. We cannot have rapid industrialization just because we want jobs. We also need to balance it, you know, with environmental sensibilities and sustainability as a guiding principle. He also says urban development हाँ होना चाहिए, बिकॉज हमारे महात्मा गांधी जी ने एक समय कहा था कि इंडिया लिव्स इन इट्स विलेजेस. यस, इंडिया डज लिव इन इट्स विलेजेस, बट इंडिया इज रन बाय इट्स सिटीज एंड टाउन्स. आवर इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी, द ग्रोथ इंजन्स ऑफ दिस कंट्री आर आवर टाउन्स. बहुत बार एज अर्बन डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्टर हमें बहुत तकलीफ पहुंचती है हमारे फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से. मतलब तकलीफ नहीं, बट कि चैलेंज होता है, एक दूसरे को चैलेंज करते हैं हम लोग. उनको बताना हमारे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी हो जाता है कि भाई एक फ्लाईओवर बनाने से आपके कार्बन एमिशन कम होंगे, आप समझने की कोशिश करो. ये कहते हैं कि नहीं, आप 200 झाड़ हटाओगे तो हम हटाने नहीं देंगे आपको. मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं इस मंच से द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को खास, प्लीज बी प्रैग्मेटिक इन योर अप्रोच, प्लीज बी कॉमन सेंसिकल इन योर अप्रोच. आई टेल यू व्हाई आई से दिस विद अ लॉट ऑफ पेन. एक फ्लाईओवर आप बनाते हो, you are only thinking about the 200 trees that will be either translocated or uprooted, but you also need to do the study कि हमारे पास जो अर्बन डेवलपमेंट डिपार्टमेंट के पास जो स्टडी होता है कि कितना कार वहां से जाता है, कितना समय वो ट्रैफिक सिग्नल पे रुकता है और कितना देर वो इंजन चालू रखता है जिससे कार्बन एमिशन आता है बाहर. इसको हम ध्यान में लेते ही नहीं. यू ऑपरेट विद ब्लाइंडर सेइंग बस हमें तो इसी से मतलब है, हमें यही सिखाया गया मसूरी में तो हम यही करेंगे और कुछ नहीं करेंगे. आई थिंक वी हैव टू चेंज इन सिंक विद टाइम. We have to take a relook at what's happening, why our cities and why our towns need more support from you in terms of practicality, in terms of legislations, in terms of acts that we enact. I think we need to be a bit more robust. And I hope you don't take this as an offense. I'm not saying this in any offensive way. All I'm saying is you need to also understand the sensibilities in terms of our planning. Because unless we grow, unless we continue to grow, remember in 1987, both India and China, our GDP was similar size, 87, not too long ago. And I think I'm sure there are 87 batch officers here. There are, yes, Mr. Jaiswal is a 87 batch of, yes sir, आप भी. 87 में जब आप सर्विस में ज्वाइन हुए थे, चाइना और इंडिया का जीडीपी एकदम सेम था. आज देखिए चाइना कहाँ पे, हम कहाँ पे हैं. हमारी इकोनॉमी की साइज है 2.3 कुछ ट्रिलियन, उनका है 16 ट्रिलियन. और हम उम्मीद लगा के चल रहे हैं कि 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी बनाना है 2024 तक या 25 तक. हमारी टारगेट भी इतनी मॉडेस्ट है. क्यों? क्योंकि इन 87 के बाद चाइना ने हर साल 10% जीडीपी का ग्रोथ दिखाया हर साल, और हम लोग पता नहीं कहां रह गए. 2%, 3%, 4%. इस बीच में तो वो भी स्लिप हो गया. हम लोग जीडीपी हमारी श्रीलंका, बांग्लादेश और पाकिस्तान के पीछे हैं अभी तो इस बीच में. पॉइंट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इज unless there is economic growth in a nation, new jobs cannot be created. Unless new jobs are created, the country will go into unrest at some point. So all of these drive and strive, to decarbonize, to increase a forest cover, to do a massive afforestation drive is all good, but we can balance it like Telangana has been doing. We continue to rank number 1 or 2 on the ease of doing business, but at the same time we also continue to rank number 1 on the increase in green cover, on the increase in afforestation drive also. And this is not me blowing my own trumpet. This is, I think, Forest Survey of India that has given us that compliment ki Telangana ne sabse acha perform kiya hai. So this state is showing you that both of these are actually, then they can go hand in hand. These two goals can go hand in hand. They need not be in conflict, in perennial conflict with each other. To all my friends here who have come from other states, I urge you, एक तरफ हैदराबाद जो है ट्री सिटी कहलाया जाता है, यूएन उसको ट्री सिटी बोलती है, और आप देखिए हमारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी. मैं खुलेआम सवाल कर रहा हूं, आप जहां से भी हो, बॉम्बे से हो, दिल्ली से हो, या जो भी सिटी से आप हो, या बैंगलोर से हो, यहां कहीं से भी हो, अगर हिंदुस्तान में आप हमसे बेहतरीन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अगर कोई सिटी में अगर दिखा सकते हो, आई डेयर यू, आई चैलेंज यू. So we've been able to balance both urban infrastructure and also tree cover. Why can't others do it? That is the question I'm asking. Be practical, be sensible in terms of your approach to increasing infrastructure, to improving your green cover, increasing, improved ways of doing business, at the same time also ensuring that environment is not affected. We in Telangana, as was pointed out by our Chief Secretary, have come out with some very sensible models, sensible legislations. One of the things I'm very proud of is what our Honorable CM's brainchild, the Telangana Ku Haritaharam, which literally translates to a green necklace for Mother Telangana. This program is what has really brought about the change that we see in Telangana today. It has ushered in a green revolution. Today our forest cover, we say it with a lot of pride, has increased from 24% to 31.7%. If you look at forest cover, we have increased. If you look at tree cover, we have increased. If you look at the green cover in total, we have improved. And I think next year, जब 23 में ranking आएगा, तो हमारी performance even बेहतर होगी, मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ. The point I'm trying to make is, we have leveraged every single opportunity. We brought in legislations, we brought in accountability. हमने सरपंच से लेके मुख्यमंत्री तक हर किसी का accountability हमने decide किया. अर्बन लोकल बॉडी हो, रूरल लोकल बॉडी हो, कॉर्पोरेशन हो, म्युनिसिपैलिटी हो, नगर पंचायती हो, जो भी हो, हर किसी का हमने एक टारगेट रखा. और लेजिस्लेशन में ये भी डाल दिया कि अगर 85% सर्वाइवल नहीं होती है तो आपका जॉब जा सकता है, चाहे आप पंचायत सेक्रेटरी हो या म्युनिसिपल काउंसिलर हो, जो भी हो. योर जॉब इज नॉट इंडिस्पेंसिबल, यू आर नॉट इंडिस्पेंसिबल. दैट्स द लाउड एंड क्लियर मैसेज दैट इज गिवन बाय आवर लेजिस्लेशन. 10% of the budget being given towards green is something that you've not heard of anywhere in India, at least no, I have not heard of it. 10% हमारी रूरल लोकल बॉडी बजट और अर्बन लोकल बॉडी की जो बजट है 900 crore per year, and this is apart from what we get from Kampa and others. So that is what has brought about the unison of purpose, that sense of accomplishment and achievement. More importantly, we've also leveraged Narega in a big way, in a very effective way. multi-layer एवेन्यू प्लांटेशन की बात हो रही थी, पल्ले प्रकृति वनम्स की बात हो रही थी. इन सारी ही चीजों में हमने डवटेल किया. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के जितने भी स्कीम है, व्हाई नॉट, व्हाई लेट देम ऑपरेट इन आइसोलेशन. वी हैव डवटेल्ड एवरीथिंग नाइसली इनटू आवर प्रोग्राम. नथिंग रॉन्ग इन इट. आई मीन, एज लॉन्ग एज यू आर एबल टू डिलीवर द गुड्स एंड आउटकम. मोर इंपॉर्टेंटली, आई वुड लाइक टू मेक अ रिक्वेस्ट टू सुभाष जी हियर. सर, अच्छे परफॉर्मिंग स्टेट जो हैं वो चाहते हैं कि आपके पास जो डिस्क्रिशन होता है, आप 90% में देते हो कैंपा में, जो 10% आपके पास होता है, आई थिंक यू शुड ऑल्सो गिव इट टू परफॉर्मिंग स्टेट्स. जो परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, जो कोई मेट्रिक पे अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, कोई इनोवेटिव हम कर रहे हैं, आपको इंकरेज करना चाहिए. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को बोलना चाहिए कि भाई तेलंगाना अगर अच्छा काम कर रहा है तो इनको थोड़ा और मदद देते हैं, एक और प्रोग्राम अगर लेना चाहते हैं तो जरूर देना चाहिए. सो आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू ensure that you perform, incentivize performers and maybe punish or disincentivize non-performers. That is one appeal I would like to make. Our Honorable Chief Minister, in fact, has also thought of a very interesting institution, Forest College and Research Institute, which was launched in 2016, and I'm delighted and proud that it will be upgraded, and our Minister will share more details with you hopefully. It will be upgraded to a forest university. And possibly, I think, one of the very few universities, or possibly the first university exclusive to forest in India. And I would request both DG and also CEO Kampa to possibly bring in your officers more often, so that we can even learn from you, we can even understand what better can be done. I was also proposing to your DG, जैसा डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर करती हैं कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र, आपको भी ऐसे ही कोई डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन के लिए, बिकॉज वी हैव वेरीड सॉइल टाइप्स इन इंडिया, वी हैव 6 डिफरेंट सॉइल टाइप्स इन तेलंगाना अलोन, सैंडी, एलुवियल, ब्लैक, ये वो, यू आर बेटर जजेस ऑफ दैट, आई एम नॉट अ जियोलॉजिस्ट और अ साइंटिस्ट और अ फॉरेस्ट मैन. All these different soil types, we can have demonstrative farms for your future officers. We can create such farms and we can ensure that rate of survival क्या है, किस चीज़ में हम देख सकते हैं. उसके साथ ही साथ मैं एक और चीज़ भी कहना चाहता हूँ. आज टेक्नोलॉजी की ज़माना है. The interface of technology with any sector is exciting. We have leveraged technology in a big way even in our afforestation program. We have used drones and seed copters much before Government of India has launched its drone policy. हम ना सिर्फ ड्रोन से सीड डिलीवरी करते हैं, सीड बॉल डिलीवर करते हैं, हम ड्रोन से मेडिसिन भी, वैक्सीन भी सप्लाई करते हैं इन हॉस्पिटेबल टेरेन्स. इट्स अ प्रोजेक्ट कॉल्ड मेडिसिन फ्रॉम द स्काई. सो लेवरेजिंग टेक्नोलॉजी, जियो टैगिंग प्लांट्स, ensuring the survival, ensuring the precision bombing when it comes to degraded forest areas is also important. Geotagging each of them, monitoring them like Karnataka does, I'm told, is extremely important. So a synergy of all these areas is what really would bring about a great deal of change. My compliments to Shobha ji on doing a terrific job. She's relinquishing her job in a few days. Compliments, I thought we should offer you our greetings in front of your entire fraternity, so that they take a lot of pride in the kind of work you have done and your team has done. Compliments to you and your minister. Sir, you have led from the front, our Honorable Minister Shri Indra Karan Reddy Garu, under the guidance of our Honorable Chief Minister. And the Minister's district also has a great deal of forest cover. My compliments to you, sir, and to Special CS and to Chief Secretary. Once again, we take a lot of pride in what we do in Telangana, and I hope the rest of the country and all officers from various parts of the country will also draw inspiration and improve our green cover and achieve the net zero goal much before 2070. Thank you very much. Enjoy your stay in Hyderabad.
Thank you very much, sir, for very inspiring and thought-provoking speech. And next,